Hello guys, welcome to my fourth video tutorial on HTML5, and we will proceed with the code that we left on the last video about the new tags or the new elements that HTML5 has and that we used. As you can see here, it was the section, the nav. These are all predefined tags or predefined elements on HTML5. Now I'm going to style this this page, this HTML5 page with CSS, so we can have a little bit more presentable page, because if you run this in Chrome, you'll see that this is all very confusing. So another thing I want to recommend you guys is, if you want to know more about other elements, or you want to see a list of all the new elements or tags in the HTML5, you can go to W3 Schools, which is a very good resource for you to study, and type HTML5 and click it. And here you have all about HTML5, all the new things HTML5 introduced, and you have the new elements here. And if you click it, here you have all the complete list of all the new elements that you can see, or you can use, sorry, in HTML5. As you can see here, article that we used. We also used each group, the header, the footer, the nav, okay, but you have a bunch more that you can use, and so you can be aware of all the new elements. So let's go back and try to style this a little bit with CSS and put it more presentable to the browser. So let's open Notepad, and the first thing I want to do is change some things here in the HTML file. The first thing I want to do is, just right after the body, I'm going to create a wrapper all around the tags that we've created, such as header, the nav, the section. Okay, so let me just type div id equals and wrapper. Okay, so we have to close it down here just before the body. Let me close this. Okay, perfect. Now let me save this, and now let's create a new file which is going to be the CSS file. And remember, you have to save the CSS file just where right where you have the test.html. So let's start by putting here, let's say, the section. Okay, let's style the section first, which is basically this part here. This is the section. Okay, let's style that. The first thing I want to do, and we just have to, it's not an ID or either a class, so we just have to type the name of it. Remember that when we have ID, we type with this symbol, or if it was a class, with the dot. Okay, but it is not either ID or class, so we just have to type section. And let me start by putting a border, 1 pixel solid black, and save it as, I'm going to save this in my desktop. Here is my test.html, so here I'm going to type CSS, and I'm going to call this style. And if you remember, we already made a link to a file, style.css, in our HTML file at the top here. See? Style.css. So it's all ready, and I typed a border here, and also I'm gonna type let me just check this. Let me just run this. Refresh. Okay, there it is. Now let me stretch this a little bit more. So let me type a width of, let's say, 500 pixels. Refresh. Okay, there it is. Okay, this is the section where we have the news. Now I want to center this in the middle. Let me center this. So we type margin. It's very, remember that we no longer can use the center property, so we have to type margin 0 pixels auto. This will center the whole thing, the whole section. Refresh, and there it is. Perfect. Now also I want to do now the same thing to the header section, to the nav, which these are the three listed names on the nav, and then we have the aside section, which is going to be here at the side, at the left side, and then the footer. But before we give properties to that, I wanna wrap it up, okay, all this, so we can center all the page or all the sections in one time, at the same time, sorry. So let me just go here, and here let's type the ID wrapper, and here let's give it a border as well. I usually do borders for every section when I'm starting a web page, because that's a good way for you to see what's the width of each section and the height, and you'll control better the design of the sections of your web page with all the borders. Okay, normally I put a black border, but you can use some other colors if you want to. Okay, black. Okay, so wrapper, and what I'm going to do here is width, and width is going to be 900 pixels, and height 700 pixels. Okay, let's see how the thing is going. Okay, perfect. Okay, it's too big. It's a little bit too big. So let me type here 700 pixels. Refresh. Okay, perfect. I have to center margin 0 pixels auto. Okay, refresh. Okay, perfect. Okay, as you see now, we have all the sections inside the centered wrapper. Okay, now let's give properties to the header, the nav, and the A side. And the A side is going to be the next one. So let's go here. Let's go A side, and here let me just check. Here is border 1 pixel solid black, and let me give a width of 100 pixels, width of 100 pixels, and a height of 400 pixels. Let me check now. refresh, and okay, here it is, but I have to push it a little bit more to the top. So I'm gonna, to do that, we just have to type margin top, and let's type 360 pixels. Refresh. No, something. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's go back. Okay, perfect. Okay, a little bit more down. So 350. 40. Okay, perfect. So now we have this is the A side section, okay, and this is the main section here in the middle where we have all the news. Now we have all the sections separated, and let's give now some properties to the header section. So now with the header section we're going to have a problem because we used headers here inside the article. Okay, so we have to give ID to the header like this. Header ID equals, let's give it an ID of first. Okay, so we can still use IDs in these predefined sections or tags from HTML5. So now we type first. Perfect. And here we're going to type, as always, border 1 pixel solid 0, 0, 0. If we didn't use the ID, I'm going to show you. If I type here header and now border, and now for example let's say height 90 pixels, you'll see that it will take effect not only in the header at the top, this one here, but also the headers inside the articles. Okay, and you'll see that just in a second. Refresh. You see, it came down all the section in the middle, and it's all very confusing. I've gave a height, so a height takes place also here in the header here, and I don't want that. I want that to be applied only to this header here. Okay, you'll see the difference. I'm going to take this out and apply this with the ID first. Okay, see? A lot different. Okay, let's take care now of the nav here. Now the nav, let's type here nav. Also the border 1 pixel solid black, and let's give it a margin 0 pixels auto, and width, let's give it a width of 350 pixels. Okay, let's see how that is showing. Okay, perfect. Now I want this to be in line, okay, not one top of another. To do that, if you remember, I just have to type nav li, and here type display inline. Okay, and let's give it a padding of 20 pixels. Let's refresh, and there it is. Okay, for now these are not links, but you can do that if you want to. as well as putting more properties and things. But I'm gonna leave it this way. This is just for you to see how we can use pretty much the same CSS for the sections in HTML5. It's pretty much the same thing, as well as we can use IDs for the sections. Now the footer, let me just type here below. The footer will have pretty much the same problem as the header, because we're using footers in here inside the articles. So I'm gonna give the footer down here an ID of second. Okay, so here it's going to be ID second, and let's give it a border as always. Gonna copy this border and also a height of 40 pixels. Okay, now let me check. Okay, and there's the footer section, and that's pretty much it. We can also divide the news here, because as you remember, this is divided by article. We have one article, we have one article here and another article here. So I'm gonna give here article, and here I'm gonna type, let's say, border. Okay, save this, and let's give it a width as well, 390. Let's check it, refresh. Okay, and there it is. This A side came a little down, you can push a little up. Okay, that's it. This is how we can change and or give properties to the sections in HTML5. It's pretty much the same thing as HTML or XHTML, sorry. So that's pretty much it. We'll learn some more stuff in the next video. If you have any questions, just post on the comment section below or send me an email. Okay, see you guys. Bye.